because the minimum salary is somehow yet to be not fulfill the requirements of the Malaysian citizens. So I think when comparing these Sudan and Malaysia, I think we have the same standing point. Yeah, and I think this is also a very huge problem coming from both countries that yeah governments, corporations, and all of the citizens need to solve. Yeah. So moving on to the next question, Ms. Islam, do you think in Sudan the artificial intelligence and other technology will replace your country workforce? Oh, and work culture? Yeah, stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. So, in a short answer, the answer is no. I don't think AI will replace anytime soon the employees. But to elaborate more, so Sudanese, as I said before, is a human-centered culture. They need to have the face-to-face, the shake hands, the drink tea together when they start the business. So you go to the business, you need to meet the person, you need to sit with them, you bond, you create the personal bond, and this personal bond or this relationship you cannot replace it with AI algorithm because in Sudan it's a relationship driven economy or a relationship driven environment. This relationship driven environment they cannot I don't believe it can be changed with AI algorithm. But even if it does, I don't think in anytime soon. So that's one thing. That's one barrier, which is the human centered culture. The second barrier is the infrastructure barrier itself. So you see, AI requires a stable internet, requires a speed actually, let alone stable. It requires a highly speed internet. It requires electric power, a stable electric power, which is Sudan. It faces severe infrastructure challenges. Which those things we don't have it. The power daily blackouts, the internet daily shutdown are very common, and we don't have the basic need for the AI. So the other than it's actually humanitized, it's also infrastructure barrier, as well as there is one issue that the digital divide. So Sudanese actually we can divide the population to 90% is using a human face-to-face handshake drink tea together the relationship way, and the 10%, the other 10% are the people who are using actually the AI, using the chat gpt, using these things because they work for the ngos, they work for the foreign countries and foreign companies. So they actually use that, and this actually creates a gap between them and the other 90% because they're still seeing each other, but the gap is quite huge. Some of them they will not accept, they will not even trust the word of a person who uses AI or um, he uses internet to solve your issue. They actually trust more actual human being sitting there at the office, giving them the treatment, explaining by the word of mouth. If you call and you get the answer from the AI, they will not believe it, and they still want to get the the answer from a real human being. So that's another thing why I think AI will not replace the physical human being anytime soon in Sudan.
Yep. Thank you very much, Ms. Islam, for a very great perspective. Yeah, when it compares to Malaysian context, I think there's a bit similarities, because in Malaysia, some corporations or some entities, even a group of workers, still rejecting AIs because they feel that there will be a huge gaps and so forth, and there also a lack of trust in AI. Thus, they reject AI or minimize the usage of AI. And I think when it comes to comparison with Japan, Sudan, and Malaysia for AI context, I think we all in a same conclusion where we all reject AI replacements for future workforce. But I think at the end of the day, AI it's a tool that it's very helpful. But yeah, we need to address all the necessities, all the gaps, to make sure that our workforce will always be and will remain competent. Yeah, yeah. So I think that's close the question three. We move to the last questions. Ms. Islam, how do you think the economy in Sudan will affect the future of traditional careers in Sudan? Yeah.
All right. So I think for the gig economy, it's actually in the Western countries, the gig economy like Uber Eats or the ones that mentioned, Kahosan mentioned, they use it for the way to get extra cash. the flexible hours, the things that is more convenient to them. But in Sudan, the gig economy is actually a vital survival mechanism. Because of the local job market has complex that I mentioned before, online freelancing, graphic designing, or translation, contract-based remote jobs are actually more favorite by the graduates or by the employers. The only ways many people can earn a living, especially that the currency factor. So you see, the biggest driver is the currency. Local jobs pay in Sudanese pounds, which I mentioned that keep on devaluing, lose value daily, day by day. So the gig works actually give you the money or pay you in the US dollar or the euro or the British pounds. So that actually give you a higher income than what you can get working in a local company just because of the currency. So this caused the young talent to completely turn away from traditional full-time local corporate jobs. Another thing, how this it changes HR. So this is actually heavily affected traditional HR careers. In the past, HR manager focused on long-term employee retention and making plans and office culture. But now, HR is in Sudan must adapt to the managing of highly fluid or temporary or decentralized workforce. Now they need to, how to say, now they need to more understand or more being open to decentralized workforce, people from different places, experts in draft short-term, freelance contracts, or many others. So the traditional 9 to 5 HR career is shifting now into a contract management role. Now nobody wants to work for 9 to 5. Nobody wants to work at all because it's very hard for you to find a job. So now they are more going towards finding NGOs, freelancing online, offer translation to foreign companies, and so on.
I think it's great needs to see yeah, the traditional HR careers or maybe in general careers are shifting to I think a better one, correct? Yep. And I think also in Malaysian context, we also see the HR traditional careers like maybe recruiting department also is implementing a lot of advanced software, like SAP HR, Cloudware. So this is a software that use technologies, uh, and yeah, I think in gig economy context, in gig economy context, it will do a lot of things too as well. Yeah. So to conclude this segment and bridge this global perspective back to our local audience, I would like to call upon our final supplementary panelist, Ms. Atika Natasha. So, Ms. Atika, please walk us through a concise summary of how these global trends from inflation to AI integration stack up against the current Malaysian R landscape. So the floor is yours.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Atika Natasha. I'm representing Malaysia and I will be making a summary about the global issues and impact at the workplace in Malaysia. So overall, I think all these global issues are really changing the way people work in Malaysia today. If we compare workplaces now and maybe 10 years ago, there's already a huge difference. Technology is becoming more advanced, employees have different expectations, and also trying to adapt new economic and social challenges. So, with the rise of AI and technology, many companies can now do things faster and more efficiently. We can already see automation be used in factories and also even HR departments. But personally, I don't think technology will completely replace humans. At the end of the day, companies still need people who can communicate well and understand emotions. Machines can help with technical tasks, but they still cannot fully replace human connection and decision making. So at the same time, the gig economy is also changing the traditional working culture in Malaysia. Nowadays, a lot of young people prefer flexible jobs or freelance work because they want more freedom and better work-life balance. We can see this through platforms like Grab, Foodpanda, and online freelancing jobs. Because of this, HR departments can no longer use the same old strategies. They now have to learn how to manage different type of workers, not only permanent staff but also freelancers and remote workers. So other than that, remote and hybrid work have also become part of the new working culture after COVID-19. Many employees now prefer flexible working arrangement because it helps them balance work and personal life better. At the same time, companies also benefit because they can reduce certain costs and sometimes even um, improve productivity. Remote work also has challenges like communication problems, like lack of teamwork and difficulty separating work life from personal life. So I think hybrid work is probably the most realistic option for many organizations in Malaysia moving forward. So lastly, global economic changes and inflation are also affecting employees and employers. Living costs are increasing, so employees are becoming more concerned about their salary, also their financial stability. So because of this, companies now face bigger challenges in retaining talented workers. Employees today are not only looking for salaries anymore, but they also care about their mental health, flexibility, and also career growth in the workplace culture. So, from all these issues, we can see that the future workplace in Malaysia will continue changing. HR professional and organization must be more flexible and more innovative in handling employees. So at the same time, employees also need to learn new skills and adapt to changes, especially in technologies and digitalization. Even though technology and globalization are changing at the workplace very quickly, I believe human values will still remain the most important element in any organization. Companies that can balance technology with employee well-being and strong human relationship will have a better chance to succeed in the future. Thank you.
Right. I think, thank you very much, Miss Atika. I think there is a very specific elaborations coming from you in summarizing the Malaysian context in globalizations, right? We can see that, yeah, we do have a lot of these corporations, especially involved in gig economies, where they uh, 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 supporting, workforce, to take supplementary jobs, to survive and so forth. And yeah, yes, and yeah, correct. Companies in Malaysia do take advantages of that because of this economy. Because yeah, a part of the a part of their main job, they can also gain experience, value, added values from this gig economy. Yeah. So is we already nearing the end of our very wonderful sessions tonight. So before we officially end our sessions, we would like to have an engagement with audiences. Yeah. Yeah. So dear audiences, you are open to Q&A via chat if you have any to any of your to any of the panels that might be your interest, because our panels is they have a very huge inputs coming from them, and that is why we try to invite them into today's forum, because we believe that this is for benefits for all, not just for Malaysians, but for Japan's and Sudanese people as well. Yeah. So, audiences, my esteemed audiences, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the chat. Right. We have a questions coming from Darren. So, Darren, yeah, what's your questions? Yeah.
So hello everyone, my name is Darren Tet Anak Terry. So most of my friends are always calling me Darren. So basically, I'm interested. I'm interested when basically this question I asked to Islam. So I'm interested when you mentioned that you were impressed Malaysia uses KPI, which is us, to evaluate the employees' work performance or promotions. In your country, besides connection or networking, are there any other methods or criteria that minorities can use to achieve career advancement or promotions fairly? That's my question. Thank you.
Hi there, and thank you so much for the question. Okay, so unfortunately, other than being, how to say, from a certain tribe or having a certain relationship with the manager or doing a certain thing, they will not promote you or they will not evaluate you to the best. Even if you did the job, but they still will not recognize it if you didn't have the good relationship with the manager, with the evaluator, with the HR. If you are being a very, how to say, like very up to yourself, you don't engage, you don't talk, you just shy and all, you don't like outshine and like show yourself, like promote yourself, they will not see you, they will not approach you, and you will not get the yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately, a lot of people actually, including my parents, they work for 25 years and they still didn't get the increment they deserve. They will increment maybe every 6 to 10 years, even though they like reach the KPI, they do everything, but just because of other people, they favorite other people. They will give the other people the chances, not the actual people who deserve it. And that goes back for the absence of the authority. Especially if you work with the government, you actually cannot complain or you cannot request to review your performance. You cannot ask other people to come and review your performance to be the judge. No, you just have to have the good relationship. You have to like basically be friends with these people so you can get the. It's actually political, mostly it's political. You need to have a certain political opinions to get promoted. But if you're like a normal citizen who don't have any political obligations, you will not get any type of evaluation, good evaluation. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you so much, Islam.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Darren, for the engaging questions and as well as to Miss Islam. Audiences, do you have any more questions before we close today's for tonight's forum? Yes, Kat, if you have questions, yeah, please.
So, hi. Hello, my name is Catalina Ching. You can call me Kat. I'm a student from Sultan Idris Education University. So, my question is for Mrs. Kaho Yamada. Y- Are you there, Mrs. Kaho Yamada?
Yes.
All right. Um, I wanted to ask your explanation on AI in your working culture. Which industry in Japan are most likely to benefit from AI implementation? That is my question. Thank you.
No, okay. Thank you for question. Mm, in my experience, mm, sorry, can you say again, please?
Okay. Which industries in Japan are most likely to benefit from AI implementation? Can you hear me?
Yes. Mm, the most one is the like restaurant, family restaurant. We have a family restaurant in Japan. It's like our our it's we can go to easily because it's cheaper than other restaurants, and then and their company need to cut their costs. So if they use AI like for ordering, it's like ordering touch panel, they they can cut their human human resources. So that kind of industries use a lot of AI, and also the convenience store use the AI because they also need to cut the employee cost because they they need to learn for 20 hours 24 hours, and if they use the people, it became the problem. They use the people for a long time to work. So if they use AI, they can cut the cost, and also they can make short time to work the human. So I guess their convenience store and family restaurant use it a lot. Can I answer your question?
Yes, you answered my question. Thank you, Mrs. Kaho Yamada.
Thank you.
All right, very nice. I'm hoping audiences have a bit of engagement with our esteemed panelists because we have very strict time constraints. It's near 11, and I believe that our esteemed panelists have put a lot of energy in engage with today's forum. So yeah, we want to give ways for them to have a ample rest for both of our panelists. So my biggest thanks to Miss Islam and Miss Kaho for tonight's sessions. And I believe every input that's coming from both of you is very significant for our learnings experience, that I think we're going to use this, to present in maybe our examinations, or maybe in our job interviews. We do have job interviews in Malaysia asking upon these matters, how do you see other countries and so forth. Yeah. So as we are nearing our conclusions of our program, we want to express our deepest gratitude. So on behalf of the Human Resources Management Club of UPSI, we extend our highest appreciations to our panel speakers for delivering an exceptional case in a global working context. So to all participants, please check the session chat box and screen right now. The official feedback link has been presented and chatted about by the committee. Yep. So dear UPSI students, can you fill it? The CHAM feedback form, so that you have your international certificates and CHAM points. Yeah. So to all audiences and my esteemed guests and my respected panelists, the session is now officially ended and you may adjourn. Thank you very much. Have a very good journey ahead and have an ample rest tonight. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Farid, for having me today. I very much enjoyed this session, and I believe it quite benefited me and gave me a lot of knowledge. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. I'm hoping for your further cooperation in the future.
Hopefully. Thank you so much, everyone.
Inshallah.
Good
Thank
night.
you so much. Goodbye, Mrs. Tom.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night. Thank you as well to Ms. Kaho for the quick sessions with us. Goodbye. I'm wishing you a wonderful rest tonight. Have a very nice session. Bye-bye. Arigato.
Thank you.
Thank you. So for audiences that's still remaining in these sessions, you may scan the QR code and have your certificates. Thank you very much.